Hello everyone, my name is Healty Susantiningdyah. I would like to present our results of the research using collaborative learning approach to improve learners' mental lexicon of word association. And we have several members here, including me, myself. My name is Healty Susan, and the next member will be Nina Inayati, and then Hilda Clarissa, and Alfi Sucidirkantari. We are actually doing this for two institutions, which consists of Institut Teknologi Kalimantan and Muhammadiyah Malang University. Next, this is the abstract. This is the review of this study. So we have three keywords that are being discussed here is about collaborative learning approach, language acquisition, and word association. So this study aims at looking at perspective of psycholinguistics and language pedagogy, as well as explain how mental lexicon is being wired or being processed into students' cognitive development. And using classroom action research, we found the results that collaborative learning approach is really beneficial for maintaining students' participation, confidence, as well as reduce anxiety. And reading text is actually beneficial for boosting their performance in mental lexicons or memorizing words in a long-term memory. Okay, next, literature reviews. So we have several perspectives to actually approach these problems. Word association and mental lexicon is actually the way new words are stored in a long-term memory, as explained by Carol in 2008, and actually it's in the form of World Wide Web. So it's the analogy that has been said by Brown. And finally, we conclude that actually it's a traceable network and it develops at any time. While collaborative learning is actually a way or approach to create a culture of shared meaning. So it's supposed to be working together. That's the essence of collaborative learning. And the students grow and work in a group. And what is amazing is that it gives the idea and place for communicative competence development for all the participants. And of course, it is expected that they learn the language beyond the language class. And finally, we also take the perspective from language acquisition, which we focus on how the input works to make meaningful output. So as the Crossen hypothesized in language acquisition that comprehensible input allows the students to put the meaning and also the form into meaningful and comprehensible and in a long-term memory, as well as we do it for what is it called? Something memorable. Yes. And there are hypotheses that we test throughout this. We are going to reflect on this. So the hypothesis is about acquisition learning hypothesis, the monitor hypothesis, and the way filter works. So we focus on those kind of reflection. And research methods, we use classroom action research as a design to meet this kind of a demand. So our expectation or objective is refining our strategies in teaching. So it's supposed to be improving practice and outcomes of the education practices. And as referred to target, chemist and target, we are using cycles, of course, and the cycle will be stopped if we have already met the intended result. And subjects consist of students of Institut Teknologi Kalimantan in their last year, which consists about 60 students, and they are getting the tests before the graduation. So they are preparing for that kind of language assessment. And our criteria of success is the class mean score of 75 with no score below 70. And also they had positive perception of the class activities proven by the minimum 70% students' enjoyment and satisfaction toward learning and teaching activities. And this is the result. we see that the collocation and figurative languages from throughout the day 1, day 2, and day 3 has been improving. So this is the things, the more they learn about the song. So in the first cycle, we use Suggestipedia, and also we are giving them practices and discussion. So we see that they are getting engaged with the activities. And then the next stable criteria of success, here we got the lowest score, 66, which is actually not yet achieving the intended learning outcome, but the mean score here already 70 actually. Okay, next will be close question response, and we found that actually the satisfaction achieved 79.5%, and I think it's already satisfactory in terms of perception. Open question response, so there are a lot of suggestions relating to how to refine the activities, but actually it mostly discussed about how to make themselves being active. So it's supposed to be involvement or engagement is the main issues. And the last will be students collocation inquiry. Oh no, not the last, but the next in the next cycle, sorry, is about the collocation inquiry or word association inquiry in the day 1, day 2, and day 3. So we here found that throughout the day they even progress and memorize more words, but the previous memorization has been there, and they do not lose it. So it was quite amazing result. They can use it and apply it into different kind of types of text, like closed text and for communication, guided communication or interaction in the activities. Because the activities in cycle 2, we focus more on task-based, that they are actually having conversation and discussion, panel discussion in the main panel and also in the sub panel. So they were doing that, and at the end they were assessed using closed test. And table 6 criteria of success shows that the mean achieved 77, which means above the criteria of success, and the lowest score is 71 and 0.62. So actually it's already great things. It achieved 79.8 compared to the first cycle, shows that there was decrease in terms of suggestion, but we still see some of them are kind of, what is it called, inquiry toward games and more active direct communication. So we imply that they are interested in receiving models and involvement and engagement. Next, the result recap. So the first cycle shows that the students' mean score achieved 66, relatively lower than the setup criteria, and the method used in cycle 2 has reached 70%. Threshold targeted for success, and the students' mean score on the closed test in cycle 2 was 77. It is surpassing the targeted or the intended learning outcomes, and it's more. It had 1.67% surplus percent, and the students' perception toward learning in cycle 2 exceeded 70% threshold, resulting in 79.2% of general enjoyment and of the method used. So they felt satisfactory as well, and it is stable if we see from the cycle 1. Discussion. This is interesting part that the study found that firm experience have put the anxiety into great influence toward language learning success. It is, yes, in my opinion, it's quite interesting, because the more you have anxiety throughout the learning, the more or the little chances you get, the what is it called? The lesser the opportunity you get in order to memorize the words or vocabulary or any kind of language input. So it's very difficult for them, even they somehow decrease their motivation to learn language, and this is very unexpected result of the instruction. Yeah, we don't want our students to experience this, of course. The use of collaborative learning seems relatively effective to create a supportive atmosphere to bring fast learning and supportive peers to lessen anxiety. So collaborative learnings actually give two things. First, support from peers, and the second is space for creativity, and they do not feel judged and they feel confident they are becoming themselves. So in cycle 1 and 2, they keep working in group, so that makes them feel like stronger. So because they have their friends, so that's the idea. There are a number of techniques employed to support the learning process, including grammar, translation, communicative approach, suggestive media, and task-based approach. So this is the thing that I want to emphasize, that not even one approach can stand alone. So they must work together as eclecticism. And the most beneficial input the students perceived to master word association was reading text, while listening activity was less helpful for them, especially because they have problem in pronunciation and speaking faced by the native speakers, or even fluency problems. Okay. Next conclusion, there is a strong relationship between approaches and second language acquisition. Collaborative learning approach and communicative approach have been found to be effective to lessen anxiety and to improve confidence and participation. The students finally passed the threshold score both in terms of language tests and perception surveys. In cycle 2, for reading text played the key roles to stimulate higher performance of mental lexicon. Acknowledgement, this is very special for my sponsors, Institut Teknologi Kalimantan, and also the research partner, Ms. Inayati from Muhammadiyah Malang University, on all my team during this very hard work to train the students English for their graduation, Ms. Alfi and Ms. Hilga. Thank you so much. And my great and biggest gratitude is for Ms. Dr. Muhammad Masuri and also Ibu Nurul Widyasuti as the vice directors to support all this kind of research and facilities for students to learn English. Thank you so much, you everyone.